Hello students, welcome to your WebSeek Academy English channel. Today, we will discuss the poem An Introduction, which is a part of the first semester BBA English syllabus. This powerful and deeply personal poem is written by Kamala Das, one of the most prominent Indian poets writing in English. A note on the author. Kamala Das was born in Malabar and educated mainly in Kerala. A bilingual writer, she prefers to write poetry in English and fiction in Malayalam. As she herself said, she speaks 3 languages, writes in 2, dreams in 1. The literary awards she has won include the Asian Poetry Award, 1963, and the Sahitya Akademi Award, 1984. Her volumes of poetry are Summer in Calcutta, 1965, The Descendants, 1967, The Old Playhouse and Other Poems, 1973, and Collected Poems Volume 1, 1984. My Story, her autobiography, was published in 1975. An Introduction Summary. An Introduction is a confessional and feminist poem by Kamala Das, where she explores themes of identity, language, gender roles, and personal freedom. The poem is written in free verse, reflecting the poet's rejection of societal constraints. Kamala Das challenges patriarchy, asserts her individuality, and expresses her emotions without fear of judgment. 1. The poet's relationship with language. I don't know politics, but I know the names of those in power, and can repeat them like days of week, or names of months, beginning with Nehru. The poem begins with the poet acknowledging that she is not deeply involved in politics, but she is aware of the prominent political figures. This could symbolize how common people, especially women, are often excluded from power, but they are still affected by it. The reference to Nehru suggests the era in which she grew up and emphasizes the dominance of male leaders. I speak 3 languages, write in 2, dream in 1. Here, Kamala Das expresses her multilingual identity. She knows multiple languages but chooses to write in English, which has been a subject of criticism. By stating that she dreams in 1, she suggests that emotions and thoughts transcend language barriers. Don't write in English, they said. English is not your mother tongue. Kamala Das highlights the criticism she faces for writing in English instead of her native language, Malayalam. Some people believe that English belongs to the West and should not be used by Indian writers. However, she defends her choice of language. Why not leave me alone, critics, friends, visiting cousins? Every one of you. Why not let me speak in any language I like? The language I speak becomes mine, its distortions, its queernesses. All mine, mine alone. She responds defiantly to her critics, arguing that language is personal. Even if her English is not perfect, it is her own way of expressing herself. She refuses to conform to linguistic purity and embraces the way she naturally communicates. 2. Critique of patriarchy and gender roles. I was child, and later they told me I grew, for I became tall, my limbs swelled and 1 or 2 places sprouted hair. Kamala Das then describes her transition from childhood to womanhood. She uses simple, biological descriptions to show how society starts viewing a girl differently once she reaches puberty. Dress in saris, be girl, be wife, they said. Be embroiderer, be cook, be a quarreler with servants. Fit in. Oh, belong. Crying is not allowed. Laugh loudly. Is not allowed. Growing up is learning to become a servant to men. Here, The poet shows how society controls women's behavior. They are not allowed to express emotions freely, and their lives are often dedicated to serving men. The tone is bitter and critical of these societal norms. 3. Personal experiences with marriage and desire. I met a man, loved him. Call him not by any name. He is every man who wants a woman, just as I am every woman who seeks love. Kamala Das does not name the man she loved, indicating that he represents all men in a patriarchal society. Similarly, she represents all women who seek love and companionship. In him, the hungry haste of rivers. In me, the ocean's tireless waiting. This metaphor contrasts male and female desires. The man is portrayed as impatient and aggressive like a river, while the woman is depicted as passive and enduring like the ocean. This reflects traditional gender roles where men are dominant and women are expected to be patient and submissive. I who have lost my way and beg now at strangers' doors to receive love, at least in small change. Here, Kamala Das expresses emotional pain and longing. She feels lost and desperate for love, showing the vulnerability that many women experience in relationships. 4. Rebellion and assertion of identity. I am sinner, I am saint. I am the beloved and the betrayed. The poet rejects being labeled as purely good or bad. She acknowledges that she has made mistakes, but she refuses to let society define her. She embraces all aspects of herself, the lover and the victim, the sinner and the saint. I have no joys which are not yours, no aches which are not yours. I too call myself I. In the final lines, she connects her experiences to those of all women. She asserts her individuality by saying, I too call myself I, emphasizing that she exists as a person with her own identity, separate from societal roles. Conclusion. An Introduction is a deeply personal yet universal poem that reflects Kamala Das's defiance against societal norms. She challenges patriarchy, asserts her right to write in English, and embraces her identity without fear of judgment. The poem is a bold declaration of selfhood, making it one of the most powerful feminist works in Indian literature. Themes of the poem. 1. Language and identity. The poem highlights the poet's struggle to write in English despite criticism and asserts that language is a personal choice. 2. Patriarchy and gender roles. Kamala Das critiques the restrictions placed on women, showing how they are expected to behave in a certain way. 3. Love and desire. The poem explores relationships, love, and the emotional struggles of a woman trying to find her identity in a male-dominated world. 4. Self-assertion and rebellion. The poet ultimately refuses to conform to societal expectations and asserts her individuality. Short answer questions. 1. What does Kamala Das know about Indian politics? Answer. Kamala Das states that she does not deeply understand politics, but she knows the names of political leaders and can repeat them like the days of the week or the months of the year. 2. Whom does I am an Indian refer to? Answer. I am an Indian refers to Kamala Das herself. She asserts her Indian identity despite writing in English, a language often associated with colonial influence. 3. How many languages did Kamala Das know to read and write? Answer. Kamala Das knew 3 languages to speak, 2 languages to write, and 1 language to dream in. 4. Who ordered Kamala Das not to write in English? Why? Answer. Critics, friends, and relatives ordered Kamala Das not to write in English because they believed it was not her mother tongue and that she should write in her native language instead. 5. What did Kamala Das do to ignore her womanliness? Answer. To ignore her womanliness, Kamala Das tried to behave like a man by cutting her hair short, dressing in men's clothing, and speaking in a deep voice. 6. The society advises the poetess to. And? Answer. The society advises the poetess to fit in and belong, forcing her to conform to traditional roles of a wife and homemaker. 7. How does Kamala Das challenge traditional roles for women in Indian society? A. By conforming to societal expectations. B. By embracing traditional values. C. By subverting gender roles and expectations. D. By ignoring societal norms altogether. Answer. C. By subverting gender roles and expectations. 8. Kamala Das's mother tongue is. Answer. Kamala Das's mother tongue is Malayalam. Answer each of the following questions in about one page. 1. How does Kamala Das utilize confessional poetry to challenge societal norms and expectations in An Introduction? Answer. Kamala Das uses confessional poetry in An Introduction to reveal her personal struggles with identity, language, and gender roles. She openly discusses her experiences with societal oppression, her forced marriage, and her attempts to break free from traditional expectations. By sharing her deepest thoughts and emotions, she challenges the rigid norms imposed on women. She refuses to be confined by linguistic and cultural restrictions, asserting her individuality and right to self-expression. Through her honest and bold narration, she gives voice to the struggles of many women in a patriarchal society, making the poem a strong feminist statement. 2. How does language function as a tool of both liberation and constraint in the poem? Answer. In An Introduction, language serves as both a source of liberation and constraint. On one hand, English allows Kamala Das to express herself freely and assert her identity, liberating her from societal restrictions. She defends her right to write in English, arguing that language belongs to anyone who chooses to use it. On the other hand, language also acts as a constraint because she faces criticism for writing in English instead of her mother tongue. Society tries to impose linguistic limitations on her, using language as a tool to control and restrict her freedom. This dual role of language reflects her struggle for self-expression and identity. 3. What is the central idea of the poem, An Introduction? Answer. The central idea of An Introduction is the struggle for personal identity and freedom, especially for women in a patriarchal society. Kamala Das addresses issues of language, gender roles, and individuality. She challenges the societal expectation that women should conform to predefined roles as wives and homemakers. The poem also explores the conflict between tradition and modernity, as she asserts her right to write in English despite criticism. Ultimately, the poem is about self-assertion and breaking free from societal norms. 4. Comment on the significance of the title of the poem. Answer. The title An Introduction is significant because the poem serves as an introduction to Kamala Das's identity, thoughts, and struggles. It is not just a personal introduction but also a representation of many Indian women who face similar challenges. She introduces herself as a woman, a writer, and an individual who refuses to conform to societal expectations. The title suggests that the poem is a declaration of selfhood, making it a powerful feminist statement. 5. The poem, An Introduction, is a confessional autobiographical poem. Discuss. Answer. Yes, An Introduction is a confessional autobiographical poem because Kamala Das shares her personal experiences, emotions, and struggles openly. She speaks about her childhood, her forced marriage, her rebellion against traditional gender roles, and her right to write in English. The poem reflects her real-life journey of self-discovery and resistance against societal norms. Like other confessional poets, she does not hesitate to reveal her vulnerabilities and desires. By doing so, she not only narrates her own story but also speaks for countless women who face similar oppression. Answer each of the following questions in about 2 pages. 1. The poet perceives language as an intensely personal means of expressing her innermost thoughts and feelings. Elucidate. Answer. In an introduction, Kamala Das strongly defends her right to use language as a personal tool for self-expression. She believes that language is not just a medium of communication but an extension of her identity and emotions. Despite facing criticism for writing in English, she refuses to be restricted by societal norms, asserting that language belongs to those who use it sincerely. Kamala Das states, "I speak 3 languages, write in 2, dream in 1." This line highlights the multilingual reality of India and her personal connection with language. She acknowledges that she can communicate in multiple languages, but her deepest thoughts and emotions are expressed in one, presumably English. This reveals that for her, language is not just about nationality or culture but about personal expression. However, society criticizes her for writing in English, arguing that it is not her mother tongue. She responds defiantly, "Why not let me speak in any language I like? The language I speak becomes mine, its distortions, its queernesses. All mine, mine alone." Here, she emphasizes that language is deeply personal. Even if her English has imperfections or is influenced by her Indian background, it still belongs to her. She rejects the idea that certain languages are superior or that people should be forced to write only in their native tongue. Her words reflect a larger theme in post-colonial literature, where writers struggle with linguistic identity. Moreover, language in the poem is symbolic of freedom. Just as she fights for the right to express herself in the language of her choice, she also fights against societal restrictions placed on women. She refuses to conform, using language as a weapon to break free from patriarchal and cultural limitations. By making language an intensely personal tool, Kamala Das challenges the rigid linguistic and cultural expectations of Indian society. Her defiance in using English despite criticism reflects her broader struggle for self-identity and independence. For her, language is not just a mode of communication but a reflection of her emotions, struggles, and resistance. 2. How does the poem illustrate the manner in which society forces its members to play conventional roles by prescribing certain kinds of behavior and frowning upon other types? Answer. An introduction by Kamala Das is a powerful critique of how society imposes rigid roles on individuals, especially women. The poem illustrates how society expects people to behave in a certain way and punishes those who deviate from the norm. Kamala Das uses her personal experiences to highlight the struggles of those who refuse to conform. From an early age, the poet is made aware of the expectations placed upon her as a woman. "Dress in saris, be girl, be wife," they said. "Be embroiderer, be cook, be a quarreler with servants. Fit in. Oh, belong." These lines reveal how Indian society dictates what a woman should do. She must dress traditionally, marry, manage household duties, and conform to an idealized image of femininity. There is no space for individuality or personal choice. The phrase, "fit in," or "belong," emphasizes how people are pressured to conform, even if it means suppressing their true selves. However, when Kamala Das resists these expectations, she faces disapproval. She tries to reject her womanhood by dressing like a man and cutting her hair short. But society does not allow her to escape her prescribed role. Crying is not allowed. Laugh loudly is not allowed. Growing up is learning to become a servant to men. These lines reflect how women's behavior is controlled. They are expected to be submissive, suppress their emotions, and dedicate their lives to serving men. Any act of rebellion, such as laughing loudly, is seen as unacceptable. Society does not just impose roles on women but actively polices their behavior to ensure conformity. The poem also shows how men dominate politics and public life, while women are excluded. I don't know politics, but I know the names of those in power. Men with beards, who led, who talk of wars and of nations. Politics, leadership, and decision-making are seen as male domains, while women are kept away from power. This reinforces the idea that men are meant to rule and women are meant to serve. Kamala Das uses her personal experiences to illustrate a universal issue: how society forces people into predefined roles and punishes those who resist. The poem is a bold rejection of these societal norms, making it a powerful feminist statement. 3. An introduction expresses the speaker's constant yearning for love in a world that does not seem to understand its true meaning. Comment. Answer. One of the central themes of an introduction by Kamala Das is the speaker's deep longing for love and emotional connection in a world that often misunderstands or distorts its meaning. The poem reflects her struggle to find genuine love and acceptance, but instead, she encounters societal restrictions, patriarchal expectations, and emotional pain. The poet describes her early experiences with love, marriage, and relationships. She recalls how, as a young girl, she was forced into marriage and had to submit to the desires of her husband. I was a child, and later they told me I grew, for I became tall, my limbs swelled and 1 or 2 places sprouted hair. When I asked for love, not knowing what else to ask for, he drew a youth of 16 into the bedroom and closed the door. These lines reveal her innocence and vulnerability. She does not fully understand what love means, but she desires it. However, instead of receiving emotional fulfillment, she is pushed into a forced marital relationship where love is reduced to mere physical intimacy. This reflects the traditional expectations placed on women to accept marriage as their destiny without regard for their emotional needs. As she grows older, her search for love continues. She expresses frustration at how society misunderstands love and judges women for seeking affection outside of marriage. She states, I met a man, loved him. Call him not by any name. He is every man who wants a woman, just as I am every woman who seeks love. By refusing to name the man, she suggests that he represents all men who seek relationships based on physical desire rather than emotional connection. Similarly, she represents all women who long for true love but are often left unfulfilled. The metaphor. In him, the hungry hest of rivers. In me, the ocean's tireless waiting, emphasizes the difference between male and female desires. The man's love is impatient and fleeting, like a river rushing forward, while her love is deep, endless, and full of longing, like the ocean. This highlights the imbalance in relationships, where men often seek physical fulfillment while women yearn for emotional depth. Towards the end of the poem, Kamala Das expresses her loneliness and desperation for love. I who have lost my way and beg now at strangers' doors to receive love, at least in small change. This heartbreaking line shows how she is left emotionally shattered, wandering in search of even the smallest signs of love and affection. Society fails to provide the emotional fulfillment she craves, leaving her feeling lost and rejected. Thus, an introduction is not just a critique of societal norms but also a deeply personal account of the poet's longing for love in a world that does not understand its true meaning. The poem resonates with many women who have struggled to find love beyond the rigid structures imposed by society. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Webseek Academy for more English lessons and notes. See you in the next video. Until then, think big and win big.